Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name again is Zuba, and I am here to give you a final flow in our 4-week series or 4-class series. And this is kind of combining everything we've done in the last 3 sessions, and we'll turn it into a sweet little sun salutation flow with a chair. So have a chair today. We're going to start resting on your back. So just find your way down. Then when you come to your back, you could have your legs long, or you could keep your knees bent. You could check that out either way, and know that you can adjust at any point. And notice how you're arriving to your practice this morning. Honoring yourself first for dedicating this time. And notice your body where it meets the earth. So any part of your legs, your feet, the base of your torso, the pelvis. You may even rest your hands on your torso, allowing yourself to come a little closer this morning. Start to notice where your shoulders have landed, where your arms are placed. And the back of your head, you might even gently nod your head side to side. Starting with our breath, noticing it coming in through the nose. And let the belly rise. The belly rises on inhale. And that sweet fall on exhale. That coming back home with the breath. Let's do at least 3 more breaths where we're sensing and feeling expansion on inhale. Gentle release on exhale. You may even choose to extend the exhale a bit. Letting the mind join you in this practice. Sensing the breath is a good way to do that. Arriving in the present moment for our fall forward flow. Notice one more breath here. The breath presses the sides of your body, the back of your body. And you might bring an affirmation into your practice. We've been using a couple, and I'll repeat those now. You might have your own that you wish to say to yourself. With each breath, I am here. I am grounded. I know how to nourish myself. Let your affirmation resonate throughout your whole body here. Feeling where you're supported at the earth. It's our great foundation. So we'll start a little movement now. Your hands could be at the pelvis. As we notice, the pelvis can rock forward. And as we rock the pelvis forward, our low back lifts off of the mat. And that's tightness in the back body. We want to release that tightness. Let gravity, let yourself lengthen with gravity. Good. Doing that 2 more times, extra slow, just allowing the pelvis to roll forward. The tailbone gets really heavy. You can feel the press of the tailbone down. And then release, lengthen. And try to make this effort all in the back body, softening the front body as you roll the pelvis forward. And then like a sigh of relief, maybe an exhale out of the mouth. Ah. So the pelvis can move in another direction. It can curl towards your center. That means the tailbone goes up towards the ceiling. Your belly flattens. You might even take your hands to notice the front side tightening, pulling in, and then an easy release. This is a somatic arch and flatten. So here we're doing the flattening, tightening the belly. And we want to be with the release of these muscles. Most of us have habitual tightness that we want to work on releasing with our somatic practice. Pause, and then maybe take one more, flattening the belly. Notice the kinetic chain all the way up to your shoulders. Even your jaw might feel this. And release. So you could bring your arms out to the sides, make this a little bigger. As we go through the arch and the flatten, we might do an arch from the low back all the way to the upper back. The shoulders now press into the mat. The heart lifts up. The head and tailbone are heavy. Arching the back. And then be with that release. That's the slowing down practice. Good. And then we curl in, tighten the belly, lift the tailbone. Maybe the shoulders start to lift. The head stays on the ground. 50% less effort here. Invitation to do less and just arrive into the sensation of your torso. So if you want to experience that again, you can arch the back away from the mat. Let the belly be free, even a breath here. Slowing down the release, noticing those muscles let go of tension. And then curling in one last time. Maybe the shoulders and the arms roll in. Easy as you come out. So when you complete your arch and curl or flower and bud, you can bring your hands back to your torso and just notice your breath. If your knees want to do a little shimmy side to side, notice that little twist in the low body. And we're going to move down to our legs here. So right now we have the knees bent, feet planted. You're going to pick one leg and you're going to gently start to extend that leg to lengthened position. Now be careful with your low back here. So you extend that leg, soften through the front of the hip. And then let some release come into that leg. The foot might roll open. And then let's play with that again. Roll the knee back to center, pull the knee back up, engaging some low belly muscles, the hip flexor, plant the knee or plant the foot. So you can check that out a couple times. We're extending through the hip, lengthening the leg, letting the leg roll open, and then back to center, engage some low belly, hip flexor, bend the knee, plant the foot. So you can already kind of feel the work that's happening, hopefully, in this hip. You might try to do that one more time. Easy extension, a sweet roll outward, come back in, flex the hip and the knee. All right, easy does it. Take a moment if you want to curl or arch the back a little bit. Notice the warmth we brought into that leg. Let's do the other side. So this is a sweet, slow movement, and you're just sensing how this hip works to extend the leg, roll the foot outward, the hip gets a little external rotation with that leg bone, and back to center. Engage through the low belly, help that leg up. Good. So you can take that a couple more times if it's feeling right in your body, knowing that the most advanced practice here is the one that feels best for you. And we're sensing this hip flexor and the strength in our core. It's subtle strength here, building that connection of the mind to body. Good. When you arrive back to effortless rest pose, feet planted, knees pointing to the ceiling, let's notice if you want to arch and flatten, release any tension that may have crept in, and maybe a press through the feet. Can you engage the leg muscles? Press through the feet, feel the leg muscles turn on, release like a wave down to the feet. One more press of the feet. Easy release. Catch up with the breath. We're going to bring our arms into this extension practice now. So let's lift the arms straight up. Palms are going to face one another. I even have all my fingers closed and my arms are pretty straight. And then let's turn the palms down towards the knees. Let's bring the arms down. You might sync your breath with this. Inhale, arms come up. Palms face one another. And then maybe you start to move the arms over the head. Not so far as you extend the shoulder joint here. And then back to center. Rotate the palms down, bring them down towards your thighs. Exhaling out. So we're just warming up the shoulders for our little flow we're going to do as you bring the arms back up. The shoulders get this movement through the socket. Good. You might take one or two more, just syncing the breath. As we inhale, arms can come up. The breath moves down into the belly. As we exhale, soften. Good. You could complete one more if you'd like, focusing on that belly breath, even as the arms move ahead. And then rest your arms down by your sides. Notice if you want movement, maybe a little rotation through the knees, maybe even through the head. Good. Catch up with yourself here. Easy breath. So this practice is all about slowing down and sensing and feeling smaller, subtler movements in the body. And we can really build strength in our mind and body connection that way. So enjoy that sweetness. We'll move to our side. So let's come to hands and knees as we move through a side. Taking your time here to get to hands and knees. And then just allow organic movement here. If you've been in a yoga class, you know cow-cat, so you could bring that in. Or if it feels better to circle the hips, maybe go back towards a child's pose. Just allow yourself to guide your own practice here in this moment. And then we'll meet together in tabletop. So the hands are spread wide. They're about right under your shoulders, and you can press the floor away. Feel the shoulder blades engage. Even the back of the heart presses up towards the ceiling. And then find neutral in the shoulders. The spine feels like it's right between the two shoulders. Knees are grounded, and the hips are right above the knees. So from this position, we're going to do cow-cat. Let's tuck the toes under, send the tailbone up. We're tightening our back like that arching movement we did on the floor. And then your shoulders press together towards your spine. Your gaze stays forward. Easy breath through the belly. Let the belly hang out. And then untuck the toes as you start to round. Find neutral first, and then tuck the tailbone, low back, mid back, upper back. Chin tucks for cat pose. So notice this as a tight front body here. Easy breath through the back body. And then find neutral. So doing the slow somatic cow-cat one more time, tucking the toes, arching the back, tightening the back line. Not over-efforting here, just sensing those muscles turn on. Come back through neutral, untuck the toes, round the back, and the back opens up freely here. The front side tightens, chin tucks, soften the jaw, the forehead. From this position, you might want to send your hips back a little bit, extending through the arms. Easy as it goes. Not to a full child's pose, but just a nod to child's pose. Come back up, hands and knees. So we're going to work with some leg extensions here, building a little bit of core strength. Let's find one leg, send it back where the toes stay on the ground. Yeah, and as your toes stay on the ground, see if you can feel that glute muscle and then the hamstring all the way down to the heel. We're just going to pause here, press through the hands, gaze is straight down at the floor. If you want to lift the leg, that's a choice you can make, tightening the belly first, then the glute, then the leg lifts up. Good, and then soften that leg down. It's a pretty big effort. If we slow it down, let's bend that knee, bring that knee back in. Okay, we'll do the other side. So you're gonna first just extend the leg, find the toes on the ground, and then even out your hips, feel that glute on that side, the hamstring all the way down to the heel, little press through the hands, and then lift that leg from center all the way down to the heel. Good, a little bit of strength practice this morning. Easy as you keep this lifted, one more breath. Drop the toe, bend the knee. Notice if you want to move back towards a brief child's pose or get off your wrists. Could even come to a little kneeling seat. Rolling the wrists. So we're going to do the same thing, but with one arm now. So you're going to ground through the knees and the hips, and perhaps take one hand just a little bit closer to center. So you're not going to completely fall off to one side, just engaging that hand and then lifting the other arm. Yeah, feel the strength in this shoulder to lift the arm all the way down to the fingertips. Breathe in. Easy does it. Let that hand come down. Replace the hands. And then do the other side. If you want to move that hand a little closer to center, your support hand, so you can lift the other arm. Engagement at the shoulder to lift this arm. Breathing in. And hand comes down on exhale. Notice if any organic movement wants to show up here. You can do cow-cat, circles through the hips. Let this be your free flow here. Keep your breath flowing here. We just have another moment on our hands and knees. And we will get up to standing here. So however you'd like to get to standing, you can make that happen for yourself. I'm just going to step a foot forward, anchor into my feet. All right. Let's have your chair nearby. I'm just going to move mine into my space a little bit. And we did forward fold practice. We're going to do a little bit more of that practice here. But let's find a mountain pose first. So the feet are rooted. Let's bend the knees a little bit. And then notice how your glutes support you here. So can you contract your glutes a little bit and then release them? Notice if you have connection to the glute muscles, you might just poke at them a little bit to wake them up. Hands could meet at your center as we build our full mountain pose up through the torso. You could even press your hands in, reminding yourself of center. Soften your jaw, easy gaze. And can we notice the breath pressing downward on inhale, coming back up and in on exhale. Couple more breaths. Inhale, grounding. Exhale, coming back home. So functional movement, forward fold. We use our hips as a rotation over our leg bones. So I always like to take my hands to my hips. The pelvis structure has this rotation point where the leg bone stays straight up and down and the pelvis does the moving. If you need a little bend in the knees, that might help the back of the legs or the low back. And so let's do this little bow 3 times here. So the pelvis rolls over the leg bones. Can you imagine that in your mind and make it happen here? Tailbone behind you, and then come back up. This actually requires quite a bit of strength. Think about, we're moving forward here and not falling, right? So the legs are strengthening, the core is strengthening around the spine. So be with that sweet fold once more. Knees get a little bend as your hands make their way to the chair. This is really nice for supporting the upper body. And let's bend our knees and then lengthen through our legs. How evenly can you do that movement? Bending knees and lengthening through legs. And the slower and smoother we can make this, the better our muscles are primed for our bigger movements, like walking and our little flow that we'll get into today. Okay, with the legs long, now you might start to round your forehead and spine down towards the chair, doing a fold. Do you notice the little tug on the hamstrings? Let's do a halfway lift. Press the hands, lengthen the spine. You might sync your breath here. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, press the chair away. Good. Let's come down into our fold. Now you might choose to rest the forearms. We're going to go back into our seat and do that little lower and lift of the seat. So bend the knees and then lift the seat. Yeah, check that out. There's maybe a little bit more engagement through the back of the legs now that the spine is curled. Even through the feet. Press away like you mean it. Forward folding. Good. Let's come back up to hands on the chair. And now that we've warmed up the legs and we've done cow-cat on the ground, let's see if we can find a little arch in the back. Cow pose, little cat pose. With long legs, it's quite different. Notice what's coming up here as you tighten the back body, breath into the belly, and then round the back. Okay, we're going to come back up to standing. So a little bend in the knees. You can come up connected through your feet. And now we're going to start our little sun salutation and flow. So I want to show you how this is going to work with the chair. We can use the chair throughout our entire little sun salutation here. So we're just going to be stepping forward and back and using the chair as if it was the earth. So plank pose is going to look like this. Feet are going to come back. I'll press through the chair. My heels are lifted. And then when we step forward, it's just going to be a step forward and an anchoring of the back foot. So that'll be building into our warrior one pose, which we did earlier in this series. So let's all start mountain pose. Feet are rooted. You can take your palms to your center. Notice what it's like to be in your practice this morning. How does it feel to fall into this season? Knowing that you're here, you're grounded, and you know how to nourish yourself. Root into your feet for mountain pose. Breathe in through your belly. Let the arms come down by your sides. I'm going to cue us moving through breath, but if that doesn't feel right for you, you can pick your breath rhythm. So we're going to start with an inhale. The arms are going to lift up. Exhale, we can press the hands together. Start that sweet fold. Bend the knees, hinge at the hips, bowing forward. Hands might meet the chair. Forehead meets the chair. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, as we step back, notice how far you want to step back. Make it what's perfect for you. Strength through the arms, engage through the core, plank pose. Inhaling. Exhale, let's step our right foot forward. Anchor the back heel. Come on up connected, hands through your center. Hey, warrior one. You can bend into the knee, release a little bit. And then find your warrior one. Spine is long and tall. Breath is down into your belly. If you want to lift the arms, you can choose to do so. Inhale, arms lift. Breath goes downward. Exhale, hands come back to center. Remember those sweet bows we did? Let's bow over our front leg. Inhale, come back up. Let's bow. This time, hands meet the chair. Arrange that back foot so you're back on your toes. Strength into the arms and the core. Step both feet back. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, let's do downward dog. What would that look like on the chair? Send your heels back. Extend through your arms. Yeah, fun downward dog at your chair. Breathe in. Keep some engagement through the shoulders and the core. Let's inhale back to plank pose. This time, let's step our left foot back forward. Anchor that back heel. Coming up to warrior one. So connect into your legs, engage through your core. Hands to heart center. Oh, warrior one, other side. You can extend and bend through the leg. Just finding your perfect position of the hips forward. And if you want to lift your arms, here's your chance. Breathing in, belly moves out, breath is going down. Meet your hands back at heart center. And those sweet little bows over the front leg. Easy with the bow. You want to stay connected through your center. On the second bow, your hands can meet the chair. Arrange your back toes so they're uplifted. Let's step our front foot back. Plank pose. And then downward dog. Yeah, something a little different for our flow today. Breathe in here. And make your way to the top of the mat, stepping forward. Halfway lift, the spine is long. Exhale, fold. Come back up to standing, press evenly through the feet. You could lift the arms if you'd like. They can come straight up. Palms could touch. Find that sweet little press into center. Good, let's pause. That was a lot of movement, a lot of action. Consider yourself grounding back into the feet. So each breath is moving down. You could repeat your affirmations. I am here. I am grounded. And I know how to nourish myself. So we're going to check out that sweet forward fall flow one more time. So if something's not feeling right, or if you want to make it your own, go right ahead and do that. You have lots of options that we've explored. But I'll cue us together through the breath. Start with arms coming down, mountain pose, staying connected at your center. Inhale, arms lift up, breath moves down. Exhale for this fold, hands come through your center, bend the knees, hinge the hips. Hands to the chair, forehead moves down. Inhale for your sweet half lift. Exhale, you're gonna step back to that plank pose. So easy as it goes, step the legs, engage the core. Good, breathe in here. And let's do a downward dog. Press the heels back, arms extend. Inhale, step one foot forward, right foot to start. Anchor the back heel. And then come up connected through warrior one. It's a big effort to lift the whole torso up without falling forward. You're doing great. Warrior one. Arms can lift on inhale. Exhale, palms to heart center. The sweet little bow. Honoring your practice. Good. Take the arms back to the chair. You're going to head back to that plank pose. Easy as it goes. Legs go back. Downward dog. Good. Stepping your other foot forward. Finding that bend in the knee. Anchoring the back foot. Moving slow to come up connected through both feet. Little bend in the front knee. Arms up on inhale. Palms touch on exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling, bowing. Good. Coming back up through warrior one. Let the hands meet the chair. One final plank to downward dog. The toes tucked under. Strong in your core. Send your hips back. Extend through your arms. Step your way forward. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then root to rise. Press through the feet. Lift up. If the arms come with you, that's wonderful. If they don't, that's wonderful too. Hands through heart center. Good. Pause and connect here to your breath. Notice what it was like to try something a little different this morning. Little full body engagement through our forward flowing. Connecting back into your feet. We're going to find our way back down to the ground. You can move your chair a little bit out of the way if it's in your space. And allow yourself to come down So that was a lot of activity this morning. I'm going to have you just reconnect back down on the earth. And as you meet yourself back on the earth, notice what's shifted in your whole being here. Is your breath moving a little bit faster? Is your heart beating, warming you up? You could return your hands to your torso and we can revisit that breath. Inhale, expand. Exhale, contract. Notice what it would be like to press the feet in. And if you'd like, you could stay with the foot press, pressing the feet in, engaging muscles through the legs and the hips. It's a subtle engagement. Or you could think about a mini bridge pose. It's a good stabilizer for the hips, a little strengthener as well. Pressing the feet, lifting the hips, maybe 1 inch, 2 inches. No need to go very high. Maybe the exhale brings you back down. Yeah, find your strength at center. If you want to do this mini bridge a couple more times, flowing with your breath, or like I said, you could stay with the foot presses. Good. One more. If you're lifting the hips, even through the feet, notice the muscular structure around your hips. Good. Allow yourself to settle. I'm going to even walk my feet out a little farther towards the front of my mat so the fronts of my hips get more space. We're going to go into the tiniest little twist here. So notice, one, that your back is neutral, your pelvis is grounded. If your back doesn't feel neutral, then adjust so it does. And start to sway your knees off to the right. Notice the right side of your pelvis gets heavy and the left side of your pelvis lifts up. Let's do that a couple times. Knees to center, knees to the right. As your knees go to the right, what about your gaze to the left? Head and neck rotates to the left. Back to center. With the knees going to right, the palm turns down on the right side, open hand on the left, gaze to the open palm. So this is a small twist. My knees aren't even touching the ground. And if you had a bolster or a pillow, you could even support your legs as you stay in this twist towards one side. Notice your center line, the vertebrae, slightly twisted, slightly rotated. And let yourself rest for a breath or two. With control, move your head back to center. Open the palms. Use some core muscles to lift the knees back to center. Replace your feet just where you'd like them. And we'll do our twist on the other side. If you're using some support, you might move it over there. And first, just the knees. A beautiful little sway to the left, back to center. Noticing you don't have to go far to get a little rotation in the pelvis. Good. One more off to the left. Now your gaze maybe turns to the right. And if you're rotating back to center, we have one more pause before we get into our full twist. The knees off to the left. Maybe that bolster or pillow comes in. You're gazing off to the right, open palm. Your other palm might turn down to the ground. Yeah, and then we pause. We stay in this little twist. Let freedom and space come in between the vertebrae. Notice if there's gripping in the side muscles. And can you bring a breath there? Two more breaths. Allow yourself to come back to neutral, connected through your center line. And then start to set yourself up for Shavasana. If you have a pillow and you want to put it underneath your legs, that might feel nice. Maybe you have a blanket or a sweater or an eye pillow. And this is the point where we let go of practice and we invite practice to work on us. So you've already put in your effort here. What is it like to release effort? Noticing the support underneath you. Maybe moving the head or the shoulders just to adjust them perfectly. Noticing your arms extending by your sides or resting on your torso. Notice the structure of your pelvis where it meets the earth. The length of your legs and their perfect position wherever they've landed. Scan your body once again from head to toe. Keeping your mind with the releasing part of practice here. Releasing effort. Focusing on your breath. Your body is supported. And your breath is nourishing. Every breath a chance to let go. Enjoy another minute here, resting at your center. Mind is placed at your heart. Fill yourself with the new energy of your breath. Take your hands and place them right over your heart. Sense and feel the beat of your heart. You are full and alive here in this moment. Honoring yourself, the little sentiment of love through your hands back towards your own heart. And we can take this moment to honor your practice and honor this community of practice. Moving only up to a seat when you're ready. Thank you for showing up. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.